Shalom. I'd like to start out by giving all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham Wachakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone, and Shalom to the elect of Israel. This is Thamayim in Atlanta, and I've got this Zero Hedge article pulled up. It just came out Tuesday, April 23rd of 2024, and it says, NATO's never-ending war. The 75-year-old bully is faltering. It says the Western discourse on the circumstances behind the creation of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization 75 years ago, and it's hardly convincing. And this is a pretty long article, so I'm not going to go into it too far, but it's basically going into the fact that NATO has run its course, and it has, even though it's brought together for peace, or at least that's what they claimed, it's been a war machine throughout the earth for the last 75 years. And from our apostles and elders of the Great Millstone, we understand NATO to be the beast that's spoken of in Revelation. And this is the vehicle in which Esau being the so-called Caucasians or self-proclaimed white people, this is how they have pushed their power onto the earth. This is how they wield their power, is through this organization of different countries. And it's the reiteration of the Roman Empire. This is the beast whose deadly wound was healed. And as it says, it's taken peace from the earth. They're always at war. They're continually gathered for war. And they're at their end. The nations are rising up, and they realize that they are the problem, that NATO is the problem, that Edom is the problem of the earth, and people are seeing it so much that here's an article on this 75-year-old bully. I'll put this article into the lesson, or a link to it into the lesson, so you could get it later and read it for yourself. But I don't want to keep this too long, so we're not really going to go into it too much. But we're going to get into the scriptures, and we'll start here at Daniel 7 and 2, so that we can understand what these beasts are. If you speak to a Christian, they'll tell you it's the Antichrist or something along those lines. But the beasts in the scriptures are different empires that the Lord rose up at different times to rule over the earth. Time and chance happeneth to all men. And so during the time of the Gentiles, which we're currently in, we're at the end of it, the Lord has given power to different nations and to different empires to rule over the earth until the formation of the kingdom of heaven, the kingdom of Yahweh Shai, which in turn is the kingdom of Israel. And so we're going to start here at Daniel 7 and verse 2. This is Daniel having a dream in which he sees a vision of these beasts, these empires coming out of the earth. And he says, Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heaven strove upon the great wind, and four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another. And so these beasts, or these empires, are the Assyro-Babylonian Empire, the Medo-Persian Empire, the Greek Empire, and then the Roman Empire. But the Roman Empire didn't die off completely. It rose again, and it is what we would now call NATO and the EU, with America being that whore that rides the back of the beast, that controls the beast. And we're going to skip down to verse 7 because it's speaking of NATO and EU. First, it's going to speak of the Roman Empire. And so, verse 7, it says, "After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth." And the iron is how the Roman Empire was able to make itself a name. That's how they were able to conquer, because their weapons were made of iron, and they were much stronger than what the other nations had. And it was terrible. It conquered it conquered basically the known world at that time, and pushed its ways onto everybody, very similar to how Esau does with NATO. It pushes their ways. They try to take their democracy all throughout the earth, and that's basically what the Romans were doing. They conquer a place, take its resources, and put the nations under them as tributaries. It says, "It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it," because it conquered the beasts before it, "and it was diverse from all the beasts that was before it, and it had 10 horns." And so it's diverse from all the other beasts because it had a Senate system, when usually these empires had kings, but just like today, it was revised or came about again. And here in America, you have the two-party system with a Senate. So that's a lot different from having a king rule over you. It says, "I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn," and that's America. It says, "before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots." That's going into Britain, Spain, and France. Those are the nations that America came out of. And you could just look at the names of the different cities and bridges and things throughout the U.S. Plucked up by the roots, and behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things. It says, "I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool, and his throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire." And so, as you can see, there's that little horn that comes up, but then after that, the Most High returns or sends his son back to put these nations underfoot. And he is a dark-skinned man with woolly hair. Just throwing that out there. Going to Revelation 13 and 4. It says, "And they worshipped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshipped the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast?" And this is NATO and the EU. It says, "Who is able to make war with him?" Because for the longest, none of the other nations have been able to have the technology or the means to fight against this NATO system, this beast that's set up. So who can make war with the beast? Nobody, up until this point, because previously they were the ones that had the nuclear missiles and weapons, but now a lot of the smaller nations have this weaponry, and it puts everyone at an even footing. So let the weak say, "I'm strong." These nations are about to rise up against this beast because it's ruled on this earth in wickedness for far too long, stealing resources, pushing their crazy philosophies on everyone, their democracy, their feminism, their alphabet lifestyles, their these things that actually don't make a net positive. It corrupts and destroys these nations. And they use it as, especially feminism and the alphabet stuff, they use it as depopulation agendas that they push on these other nations. But we're at the end of it to where they're about to pay for it. And one of the biggest tools they've also used is Christianity and pushing their whitewashed images upon the whole earth. But they are not the Israelites. They are not the Lord's people, and they've committed blasphemy with both the images and with their doctrine in general, saying everybody could be saved and that the Lord loves everyone, when the Lord completely hates them. He's just given them power to rise up. He's used them as a sword to judge the other nations, especially the Israelites. And eventually he's going to put that sword away, and he's going to have to judge them for the wickedness that they've put into the earth, because he used them as a great example of how not to be. Scriptures say to put evil away from you, but this devil pushes it throughout the whole entire earth. Oops. And then we're going to finish up here at 2nd Esdras 11. And this is speaking to the fourth beast, which is the Roman Empire, but it fell and rose again. And so it's speaking to it here, because this is where the kingdoms come down. It's through the revision of the fourth beast. And so 2nd Esdras 11 and verse 39 says, "Art not thou it that remainest of the four beasts, whom I made to reign in my world, that the end of their times might come through them?" And so the Lord set this all up for them to be the fall guy. It says, "And the fourth came and overcame all the beasts that were past, and had power over the world with great fearfulness, and over the whole compass of the earth, which with much wicked oppression, and so long time dwelt he upon the earth with deceit." And that article was going into how this is that NATO is a 75-year-old bully. And that's what they've been doing. They've been pushing the other nations around, stealing their things, pushing crazy philosophies on them, and oppressing. And lying. They're extreme liars, especially about the scriptures and who they are and who everyone else is. But as we see, the Lord is going to end them. And that's what's going to end NATO, not the other nations. It's the Lord using these nations to bring down NATO. And then eventually Yahushua will return and sweep up everything and return everything back to its natural order, with Esau Edom being at the absolute bottom, and Amalek, those small hatters, being even below them. It says 41, "For the earth hast thou not judged with truth." The Lord's eventually going to put someone over it that, gosh, I'm butchering that precept, but the Lord's going to put someone just, and that being Yahushua, to rule the earth in the way that he sees fit. It says, "For thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars, and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hath cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm." Because they constantly make war. They've taken peace from the earth. They're the problem. They love lies. They love taking from people that are peaceable to them. Just think of the Native Americans and how they tried to set them up, show them how to farm, show them how to survive in North America, and they just turned their sword on them and colonized all of North America, stole from them, put them to death. For the earth hast thou not judged with truth, for thou hast afflicted the meek, thou hast hurt the peaceable, thou hast loved liars and destroyed the dwellings of them that brought forth fruit, and hath cast down the walls of such as did thee no harm. Therefore is thy wrongful dealing come up unto the highest, and thy pride unto the mighty. These sins have reached unto heaven, so the Lord is about to act. It says the highest also hath looked upon the proud times, and behold, they are ended, and his abominations are fulfilled. And so they have to get their full measure of sin and wickedness in, and then the Lord is going to end them. And therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings. And Esau's sign, his spirit animal, if you will, is the eagle. Lots of their different empires have used the eagle. The Romans used the eagle, the Germans used the eagle, the Americans used the eagle. And you see it throughout a lot of different European nations. They use the eagle because they want to set themselves up on high, just like an eagle flies high above everything. They are a great predator as well, just like eagles. It says, nor thy horrible wings, and therefore appear no more thou eagle, nor thy horrible wings, nor thy wicked feathers, nor thy malicious heads, nor thy hurtful claws, nor all thy vain body. So everything that the Edomites have put out onto the world, their wicked leaders, their wicked technologies, their expansion, their colonization, these things are all about to go away. Lord's Yahushua is coming to wipe away all tears. And these people have afflicted the Israelites first and foremost, more than anyone else. They are our biggest enemy. And they're a huge enemy unto the other nations as well. It says that all the earth may be refreshed, because everything's going to be put back into order. And we're looking for new heavens and new earths. The new earth, refreshing, and may return, being delivered from thy violence, and that she may hope for the judgment and mercy of him that made her. And so the whole earth is waiting, the whole creation groaneth for the appearance of the sons of the Most High. And with the exposure that this devil's getting right now, he's being exposed. His biggest weapon was secrecy, but the internet has taken that away. They're also completely divided and can't even, they're divided, which means their kingdom is divided, and that kingdom can't stand being in the many pieces that they're in. And most of all, we're just at the end of the reign. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that follows. And so their time, their bounds, which the Most High set for them, is at an end. And Lord willing, it's extremely soon. And so, Lord willing, that was edifying. I'd like to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect of Israel. Shalom.